disgusting.
All right.
I walked into that.
Excuse me. Looks like everybody's about in at this point. Does everybody have their seats buckled and their trays in their upright position?
Yes.
Excellent. Thank you so much for joining us here at Blank's The Cuphead Show. Inkwell Isles Revisited. First, let me just say I cannot thank all of you enough for the support for this panel, and more importantly, the support for this show. This is a bunch of spectacular people who put on a spectacular program, and none of us would be here if not for that. So let's give them one more hand, please. Thank you for that. I'm expecting the checks to show up in my mailbox. How is everyone? My name is TJ Shevlin. I am a 2023 Eisner Awards judge. I've worked all over the comics industry, and I am the least interesting person in this panel. So we are going to start over to my left. Do you want to do it yourself, or do you want me to do it?
You do.
Oh, wow. Okay. Right to my left, we have the musical marvel known as Ego Plum. Wrangler, Deke. Bret Hart was once known as the excellence of execution, but we have the excellence of executive production. Ladies and gentlemen, Cosmo Segurson. Show sprinter, show jogger, show runner, Dave Wasson. Elton Kettle himself, ladies and gentlemen. New Yorker on this panel. That is Frank Todaro. Representing Queens. I was raised out in Brooklyn. It's the truth.
Fight.
Thank you so much, everybody, for being here. We usually start this panel in a pretty traditional way, but we're going to go a little non-traditional here. Deeki, you feel like taking that one away?
Absolutely. What we're going to do is give you some never-before-seen script pages from episodes that were written and boarded that you haven't seen. And the first episode up, the title might give away what it's about. It's called Ghost Train. And we'll just take it away. We're going to start off in the cottage in the living room. Elder Kettle unfurls a long list of chores. Cuphead and Mugman watch it unfurl with disgust.
Now, boys, you don't have to do these chores.
Yeah, that was a close one.
But if you want to live here and not do the chores, well, then you can pay rent instead.
What? We can afford that? Yeah, what are we? Made of rent?
So let me get this straight. You don't want to do the chores. And you don't want to pay rent? You know who else doesn't do chores or pay rent? Hobos.
They exchange a look.
Is that what you boys want? To be hobos? Carry all your belongings in a handkerchief on the end of a stick? Eat beans out of a tin can? Sing old songs by a campfire? Sleep outside? Never shower? Steal pies from windowsills? Hitch rides in boxcars? Playing the harmonica? Boys.
The door slams. Kettle looks out the window. Cuphead and Mugman walk away from the cottage, carrying bindles over their shoulders.
Boys!
Sayonara, old man. We'll
He slams the window. Interior freight train boxcar. Freight train picks up steam. Cuphead and Mugman run alongside it. They toss their bindles into the open car and jump on as the train chugs into the sunset.
Wow, we did it! We hitched a ride on a boxcar!
Yeah, now we can say we lived a full hobo experience.
I'm the hobo?
Wait, hey, the script? That's so wrong for the hobo.
Not quite.
They turn and see a figure in the shadows. The glint of his knife shines in their eyes.
You ain't a real hobo until you've been in a hobo knife fight. Oh wait, you're just kids. You ain't a real hobo until you heard a hobo ghost story.
Ooh!
The hobo sits on a pile of straw and puts down his lantern.
It was a night, just like tonight. On a train, just like this train. On tracks similar to these tracks. On a route bearing more than a passing resemblance
Can we kind of speed this up?
Yeah, hobo, get that ghost fun.
Yeah.
All right.
We push into the lantern's flame and pull out to reveal that we're now inside the train's dining car years in the past. It's the train's heyday, full of well-dressed passengers.
It was the classiest train in all of Inkwell Isles, and everyone was dressed to the nines, nay, to the tens.
There's a well-dressed society couple, one in a tuxedo and one in a fox fur, piano player, a newlywed couple dancing, and a waiter carrying a tray of drinks. The chef prepares a plucked chicken, and the train picks up speed and enters a tunnel.
None of the passengers knew that at the other end lied their ultimate demise. For that night, the Inkwell Cannon Bridge was out. The train sailed right off it, and everyone on board stayed on board forever. Some say the train still runs to this day.
Now we're back to the present.
If you're on that train when it crashes, you're stuck there, doomed to repeat history year after year. At least that's what they say happens when you board the ghost train on the anniversary of its crash.
It's the anniversary.
I don't know, kid. What am I, an encyclopedia?
Now this is what I'm talking about. Yeah, hopping boxcars, exchanging ghost stories with the hobo by firelight?
The wind blows and the lantern goes out. They turn and find the hobo is gone.
Hey, wait, where'd he go?
Okay, we hitched the train, heard a hobo ghost story. Let's go home. The train's not chugging too fast. We could just hop off.
Well, look, there's a door in another train car. Maybe there's another hobo or another spooky tale about another ghost train we shouldn't be on, right?
He yanks Mugman into the car. All right, that's all you get of Ghost Train, but give it a hand. They've never seen this. That's a code read. All right, we're going to do one on... All right, we're going to do a quick scene from an episode called Bull Boy Kills. Now, unfortunately, Bull Boy does not appear, so there's a very quick scene we've got between Elder Kettle and Pork Rind. So we're in the cottage. Kettle enters from the kitchen, and he answers the ringing phone.
Kettle's Cottage! Ahoy, hoy!
You're overdue on your monthly bill.
Who is that?
You know who it is.
Aunt Gretel?
Quit playing dumb, Kettle. You're overdue and I'm calling to collect. It's time to pay the pilot.
Wow, pork rind. Wait. Did you just say pay the pilot?
You know the old saying.
Yes, I do. It's pay the piper.
What's a piper?
I don't know what's a piper. How are you a pilot?
I'm not a pilot.
I know when you will be, though.
When?
When pigs fly.
Why, you rusty old...
Kettle slams the phone down, satisfied.
When pigs fly. Good one, Kettle.
All right, and we got one last scene for you, and this one is from the opening scene from an episode called Return to Sugarland. Start off exterior of the cottage. Cuphead and Mugman are lying in the grass. They're pointing at the clouds.
Hey, look, Muzzy. Yeah, that one looks like a hot dog.
Oh, well, that one looks like a hot dog too.
Oh, yeah, that one looks like a hot dog with mustard and relish and a steamed bun.
That's how you know they really care, when they steam the bun.
Yeah. And that one over there? Yeah, that one's also a hot dog.
Do they really look like hot dogs, or do we just want hot dogs?
That's a good question. Hot dog. I suppose hot dog. Hot dog, hot dog, hot dog, and furthermore, hot dog.
I couldn't agree with you more. I couldn't hot dog with you, hot dog.
Oh, boys! Guess what? It's time to paint again.
They give each other a look.
There's no way I'm painting that fence again. Let's bail.
Now, maybe that's not even what he wants us to paint.
I'll give you a hint. It's the fence!
The boys zip off screen in a flash, leaving only clouds of dust. Kettle runs out with a can of paint and brushes.
Boys! Boys! Aww. They didn't used to leave clouds of dust when they abandoned me.
Exterior downtown Inkwell. A sign reads Hot Dog City to reveal it's a hot dog stand. Cuphead and Mugman dress their hot dogs, loudly squirting and slathering over the dialogue.
Oh boy, am I glad we're eating hot dogs instead of painting that fence again.
What?
I said, boy, am I glad we're eating hot dogs instead of painting that fence again.
Yeah, you said it. That guy got some kind of hang-up about that fence. It's getting weird.
They're about to bite their hot dogs when a paddy wagon drives past, with Baroness von Bonbon screaming out the back.
Wait a minute. Was that the Baroness?
Oh, impossible. She can't leave Sugarland.
The radio at the hot dog stand suddenly has a mouth. And now, breaking news, Baroness von Bonbon has been arrested. She's suspected of the disappearances of an untold amount of delicious children. Police removed the Baroness from her candy residence this morning, leaving it completely unattended. Cuphead and Mugman turn to each other, put down their hot dogs, and zip to Sugarland. To be continued.
It's only the best. Guys, that was fantastic. Thank you so much for that. All right, so let's get into a little bit of the nuts and bolts on this. Dave, you want delicious. Dave, do you want to talk about how the show really kind of came together?
Sure, yeah. So the year was 2018, right? Yeah, so there was sort of like this big audition process where they already knew they wanted to make a show about Cuphead. Nickelodeon, or Netflix did rather, not Nickelodeon. And they had contacted the guys that made the series. And so there was sort of like a talent search that kind of went out across all of Hollywood, people that had been showrunners and stuff like that before, and they had sort of, it was like a who's who of people pitching on what they thought Cuphead could be. And somehow I convinced them that I knew what I was doing, and I mean, I loved the game. The game was amazing. I loved 1930s cartoons. And it just seemed like, man, this would be an opportunity of a lifetime. And Netflix was wild at that time. They were throwing money around willy-nilly. They were making big promises. And Yeah, so I sort of went through this audition process and ended up getting the gig. And then it was just a matter, and Cosmo was the next person to get reached out to. He'd worked with one of the executives at Nickelodeon. Yeah, and so we were sort of brought together in this arranged marriage sort of way. But it worked out. We were sort of familiar with each other, but had never worked together. So that was the beginning, and then from there we just started crewing up. Yeah, I was on maybe like a month and a half before Cosmo started. I started just writing down some stuff, and then Cosmo came on at the beginning of 2019.
Right, it was like January 2019, in a tiny, weird, very strangely smelling office in Hollywood. Because Netflix at the time wanted to make a lot of shows.
Yeah.
And they almost did.
Yeah, they'd never been in animation before, and they greenlit like 35 shows all at the same time. And it was an exciting time, but it was total chaos. And then from there, we brought Deke on. He was one of the first hires, and we also got our two directors, Adam Poloian and Clay Morrow, who were like great, amazing. And that was our writer's room. And we just started banging out ideas in there, like kind of figuring out, we kind of had a basic idea about who we wanted the characters to be. Based on that there's like a little section in the video game where there's like almost like a little storybook that kind of sets up how they came to work for the devil. Yeah, and everybody that owned, like basically they all the bosses owed their soul to the devil, and so they're out trying to like capture these souls for the devil. But there's a scene where like basically Cuphead rolls the dice and loses his soul to the devil, and then has to work for the devil. And you can see in that panel, like, he was just like gung-ho about it. He wasn't thinking about the consequences, and Mugman looked really like nervous and trepidatious.
I suppose he wasn't too worried about it.
Cuphead, no. Yeah, Mugman, yes.
In those early days, Dave and Cosmo put together a list. It was basically, here's what Cuphead's like, just adjectives, things describe him. Here's what Mugman's like. And that kind of basic division between the two of them really laid the foundation for the episodes that we did, and it was all the heavy lifting, basically, of the character stuff. And the first thing we did in the room was, hey, gee, wouldn't it be cool if it ended with them going into the casino? And the first little post that we put was way at the end. So that was the first thing we had.
Right, because we knew we wanted them to be meeting these bosses for the first time. And in the game, they've already met these people, so like we had to set it as a prequel, so they'd be encountering these bosses for the first time. It just made sense for storytelling.
Yeah, I feel like once we knew the difference between Cuphead and Mugman as a group, like it wasn't difficult to start figuring out the kinds of stories we could tell. Because a lot of the stories are based on some of our own relationships, like Dave's kids,
Yes.
his boys.
Yes. Cosmo used to say that my kids were the live-action Cuphead and Mugman. And it was true.
Yeah.
And there was a lot of Elder Kettle too, me just screaming like, stop jumping on the couch!
That was a good
Boys! Yeah, the kitchen's on fire! So yeah, I felt like I had some insight.
The best was when Dave would tell stories about his kids, like locking them out of the house. He didn't think they were funny, and that's what made them really funny.
Yeah, not funny at the time.
Well, once you nailed down the adjectives for who Cuphead and Mugman were in that kind of general sense, what went into casting? Because clearly when you visualize these characters, all three of you guys up here, but everybody else in the show, it's impossible to not hear those voices. It's really kind of become concrete to who they are.
That's great to hear. That's really awesome. I think, yeah, were you saying like how did we sort of decide? Yeah, so like early on it just seemed like, okay, this is a cartoon that's set in the 30s. And I've done a Mickey Mouse short called A Pete Scorn, and Mortimer's in that. That's like one of Mickey Mouse's
That's
rivals.
actually one of my favorites from that series.
Oh, really?
I love it.
Yeah, so he was kind of like a fast-talking wise guy. Like, put it there, pal. Nice to see you. So he's kind of like this like fast-talking smoothie, and it just seemed like that was a real character type that was popular in the 30s. And that seemed really good for Cuphead. And then we also, we were also thinking about like the mouse in Dumbo.
Right.
And
also Lampwick in Pinocchio.
Right.
Really influence to think about.
Yeah. Right. So that seemed good. That seemed good for him. And then we were trying to figure out like somebody that was kind of softer and sweeter. And we watched this cartoon. That cartoon Tale of Two Kitties, right? Where it's like it's an Abbott and Costello.
It's sort of spoofing, or like it is Abbott and Costello basically.
Right. And we were like, oh, that would be so great. Never really thinking that we'd find anybody that could like capture so much of Abbott and Costello in like the year or whatever it was, 2018. Like who the hell knows? We didn't think anybody would even know who that was anymore, but we found the one man on the planet who totally got it. And then, Frank brought so much like tenderness and sweetness to that character as well. The great thing about him was Abbott could go from being like really sort of sweet and vulnerable to completely like exploding.
Yeah.
Right?
I mean, they're both basically pretty unhinged.
Yeah.
But Mugman tends to like bring it in and is like a real romantic. Well, Cuphead, I don't think he's thinking that hard.
He's just a thrill seeker.
Yeah.
He's like, what would be the most fun? That's pretty much all he's thinking about. And then True showed up and also could do this young guy could do like a 1930s fast talking rat-a-tat-tat smoothie.
When you hear those kind of like voices from the 30s, it's usually like when we do them, it's like a joke. You do it as like a one-note joke. And so when their characters started to talk, and we heard what these guys were bringing to it, that list of all the adjectives about each of their characters suddenly expanded and got more complex. It's like these guys can do anything. So it really opened up the whole show.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah, the more you work with them, the more you sort of see what they can do, and then we could sort of like write towards those abilities
and even create problems in stories like, can we really have Mugman do this? Can we really have Cuphead be this much of a jerk? Can we push it that far? And every time they surprise us with the humanity they brought to it and how they kept it hilarious.
And Joe here. So we had this idea of Elder Kettle originally. We were doing like you were doing the scratch.
I was doing the scratch. And it's more like that grandpa. I think he's on like Leave It to Beaver or something. It's like that 50s TV grandpa.
Oh, you guys are so sweet.
Like that kind of
Yeah, kind of a minor a little bit.
It's like a minor.
Right?
It was really cliche and stuff. And then, and
Joe. Yeah, Joe came in and was doing something. We got mostly that in the audition too. A lot of people were doing that, but then Joe came in with this crazy ass, like it seemed like a character that would have been on Green Acres or something.
Well, he was. He's based on two people. My grandpa Frosty, my mom's dad, my grandpa, and William Demarest from My Three Sons, who played Uncle Charlie. Steve Tramp just took a crap in the hallway. Do you remember this character at all, anybody?
Are there any nicknames here?
That's right.
There we go. That's the question you have to ask there.
My grandpa was just, he was a curmudgeon, very forceful, and whenever we'd start playing up in the living room and just doing crazy things, he'd say, "To the basement with that crap!" And it was like, okay, all right, sure, Gramps. Yeah. But so it's kind of the combination of those two. That's it.
Yeah, and it was like, so we kind of wrestled with it because we got so conditioned to like what we were sort of thinking, but then every time we went back and listened to his audition, we were both this week, we couldn't stop laughing. And so it was like, well, I think we got to take a chance on this because it's hilarious.
I mean, there's something to be said for that, though, considering the live read that we just had. It's all three of you were unhinged, but there was something about Elder Kettle hearing it live. I don't know if anybody else feels the same way, but I mean, there is a sense of like manic insanity that came with all of that in the best way.
The man's been to war.
That's right. He's seen decorated war hero, you bet.
He definitely got crazier as it went along, too. We were like, okay, this is like better.
You guys fed me.
Yeah.
You fed me.
I think of all the characters, he injures the kids the most. He's the biggest threat to his own children.
Yeah. Forget about the devil. It's really Elder Kettle that should be first.
Yeah, he gets a little unhinged.
There's definitely something to be said about how it all comes together. Because when you watch the first episode, and if anybody's gone back and rewatched it recently, it's wild how just far ahead all of you come by the second episode. Because the first episode is really good, but all three of you, and everybody's all really figures out what it is by the second episode. And you don't see that happen very often. And I know animation's a little different, but with ensemble cast work and trying to figure everybody out, getting their stuff in, it takes a little while, and you guys are right there at the second episode. And the first is hilarious, but that second episode is tight.
It's, you know what's really cool is we did that intentionally for story. We did it as a trap because they're stuck in the house, and we thought if we put them in the house, we'll figure out who these characters are. And then when we heard those voices coming back, and just in that house, the levels that they brought to it, it made it feel like so much bigger.
It's the bottle episode of Community right there. You know, it's just everyone's got to be who they are right there.
Yeah, it really felt like they locked in for us. That was like a really important episode for us. Like the first one was like, I mean, obviously we're just laying all the track
and setting everything up.
Yeah, but that second one, like their personalities really clicked in a way that we're like, okay, we know what this is now. And that we were lucky we got it that early too. But it really did. It really, yeah, that was like, okay, we got it.
I do have to say though, as far as everything coming together, and I feel like everybody on the panel and all of you out here can agree with this, when you think about, there's one other very specific element to Cuphead that I think really kind of sends it over, and it's the music. It is pitch perfect in that, like, that Cab Calloway sort of feel, and Ego, you managed to capture all of the perfect little kind of delicate sort of intricacies that come with music of that time. Do you want to talk about what you kind of brought from that and what was yours that you threw in there?
I mean, the biggest challenge is that the music from the game was already perfect. It was like, how do we even top this? And I think what I realized is like, you don't try to top it. You kind of do something different and you try to invent your own sort of world. And we did. Like, the series sort of exists in parallel to the game as far as the way the characters have been developed and the music has been created. So we had our own influences. I mean, we probably took from the same well of influences as them. But for me, there was a few different composers that I was inspired by. I mean, for us, Leroy Shield, who did Little Rascals and Laurel and Hardy, that music was really beautiful. You should listen to that. And Raymond Scott was a 1930s really eccentric jazz guy, very cartoony. Like his stuff ended up being in the Looney Tunes without his knowledge, even, because it was like he wrote Powerhouse. That was just his music that he made for his band, and that ended up being in like hundreds of Looney Tunes episodes when Carl Stalling, musical director at Warner Brothers, put him in there. So like I took influence from Leroy, Cab Calloway, of course, and the biggest influence, of course, is the stories themselves. That's what dictates what it's supposed to sound like ultimately. The music is just a way to help propel the narrative and the story for sure.
Excuse me, sorry about that. Speaking about it in kind of that frame there's also having to write music for people to sing, which there's quite a bit of in the show. Obviously, Wayne Brady, I mean, having him sing, music that you're putting together there, what was that like?
Wow, I mean, that was so awesome. Dave, you could elaborate on that too, because, we worked together on all these songs, and I mean, Dave, take over for a little bit about the song.
Okay, yeah, I mean, that was really fun. I mean, we would come to these songs, we would sort of decide as we're writing an episode, like, oh, this would be a great place to either introduce the character as a song or if he has a plot or something like that. So like, for instance, in the first episode, it just seemed like a great, music was also so important in those early like Fleischer cartoons and Disney cartoons, those silly symphonies. They really kind of defined that era. So it was like, we knew if we're gonna do a cartoon that's sort of meant to feel like it was done in the 30s, it has to have these songs. And so that was one place where we were like, okay, this has to be a song, and he would just sort of sing his intro. And a song's a great way to sort of quickly set up who a character is, what he's about, what he wants. And that was one that Luke sang that was just, he turned out to be a great surprise. I wish he was here with us now.
Maybe he is here.
They could all be yours for $49.99.
For sure. Hold that up again. That's like all the songs. That's got all the songs and all the soundtracks. That is a really great thing. Yeah, that's awesome. But anyway, yeah, that was kind of like, that's how some of the songs came about. I mean, working with Wayne Brady was amazing because he's also someone who actually can sing his ass off.
Yes.
He's a real song and dance man. Yeah, and he just brought it in a way that, you know, these songs would go to another level. We would do like scratch dialogue on them and like vocals. And then
Wayne Brady shook my hand.
But I mean, yeah, that goes for. I wish we never did a song completely with Cuphead and Mugman, which I'm like.
You still can, why not?
Yeah. Okay. We're gonna do that. But they did participate on some songs. So they were so much fun.
A Christmas tree song.
Yeah.
Yes, that's right. That's right. Joe got 2 songs.
Shout out to just
But it was,
too.
yeah.
I think Veggie Love was a single that I'm just going to produce that one. I love that song. Are you kidding me? That is so much fun. It's his little lullaby to his veggies. That Christmas tree song is.
We all got to sing together.
That was so cool. That was great.
But yeah, there's a special magic that happens when you combine music with animation that's just like, there's nothing else like it.
Yep. And we had, in the audition process, we had everybody sing.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Which one favorite song I had them sing?
Oh, was it
Ain't
like
it sweet?
Ain't she sweet?
Yeah.
And I sang Amy Misbehaving.
Right.
What's Fats Waller?
Right.
Yeah, we wanted to make sure everybody could sing as well as act.
After I sung the song in the audition, that's when I was like, I think I got it. I was like, that's it.
These guys are all amazing.
I had just gotten out of like some like crazy preacher thing that I was doing before that, and I went there and I thought I sounded like Tone Loc, but I added like, hey, true. But yeah, it somehow came out of somewhere in my head.
I was lucky in that I used to do stage, and I did a thing called Club Indigo Memories in Blue, which was a 1930s, 40s review, and I actually sang Ain't Misbehaving in that, so I was a little step ahead. So.
I was always amazed that you could do it in Kettle's voice though, because it's so like gravelly and scratchy.
Well, when I did Chalice's song, oh God, that was, I thought she has such a beautiful, Gray Delisle has such a beautiful little Betty Boopish,
Yeah, she should also be here today.
and I'm
She's
saying,
got another panel somewhere else.
So I apologize. I just got the 15-minute mark, so we're gonna take Q&A in a few minutes because I get the feeling there's gonna be questions. I already see someone getting up. Real fast,
Racial shows, here they come.
lightning quick for Frank, True, and Joe. what of yourself did you put into your characters? Because I know there is some of you guys in there.
True, I kind of are Cuphead and Mugman, and that is perfectly evident by the rap party, where he had to take off early and picked up his cutout from the photo booth and walked out with it.
Yeah, I stole it, so what?
I turned to Dave and said, "Hey, Dave, do you think I can take mine too?" And I don't know if it hit me or just did verbally hit me. What are you, Mugman? You're asking for permission? And yeah, it was a perfect microcosm.
I was like, True already stole his, so what the hell?
Well, I like cookies.
I would say like there's a lot of like ancillary characters and stuff that are all impressions of family members. So like Michael George lives on as the eggplant bouncer and wrote on the list, you know, like there's a lot of weird little things like this. It's fun.
All right, so we're gonna take the first question. Have at it.
This isn't actually like a helpful question at all, but I wanted to get it done like here, so I don't have to like run to you guys and like ask you really quickly why you are leaving. But I want to know if it's possible if we are able to take the stands.
No, those are the ones from the rap party, so no, those are great questions.
These are the ones they stole.
Yeah.
People are looking to waste that yourself from them. Prove yourself.
I was offered 800 on eBay, so.
If you're fast enough, I guess you can.
Thank you very much.
Hi, my question is mainly for Joe, True, and Frank. Well, it was originally going to be, you know, if you could write your own episode, what would it be? But I thought it was a better question. Would it be okay if you three did a scenario where, I've seen people do this before, where you go to a fast food restaurant, how would the characters order in their voices? What would they order? How would it be like?
What would they order at a restaurant?
Yeah, if they went to like a drive-through, fast food drive-through, like how would they order?
Can I get a milkshake, a hot dog, tilt wheel, roller coaster, hot dog, a hot dog, a hot dog, a hot dog.
I'd like some pancakes. No, I make better pancakes than you anyway.
I got a hot dog, wait, no. Maybe a ham, wait, no. Can you put a hot dog on that? That's just silly. I think I need a couple minutes to think about it. Wait,
Let's speed this up, Muggsy. Come on, let's go.
I'm just giving everything!
In producing this show, are there any stipulations or regulations that you guys must abide by Netflix, or is it all free range for you?
You know, Netflix was probably the most lenient place we ever worked for.
Absolutely.
Right? I mean, I think a lot of it was because they'd never done this before and they didn't exactly know what they were doing, and that worked out real well. We had one standards and practice guy, and normally at these other studios, there's like a team of standards and practice people. We had one guy, he was the most reasonable guy that I've ever dealt with. And he'd be like, yeah, it's a cartoon, whatever. We're like, awesome.
Neither of us have ever worked on a show where you can have the devil in your show, and they let us do it.
That was a controversy. That was our biggest controversy. And we were like, come on, like, you know, for every great hero, you've got to have a great villain. Like, you know, Batman is nothing without the Joker. And we sort of used that argument, and they were like, okay, it's a cartoon, whatever.
Yeah, Satoru Gojo is nothing without Sugu, you know.
So, yeah, I mean, there might have been a few tiny little things, but mostly we really got to make the show we wanted to make.
All right, we just got the 10-minute mark, so we're going to continue taking everybody's questions, but just try to make them as concise as you can, please.
So, we're aware that some episodes were either scrapped or never finished, or never finished production.
Whoa.
Thing went off. So we're aware some episodes never finished production or were scrapped halfway through. Is it possible we could see these like
and view them in some other format in the future?
Yes, some of them are actually in the Art of the Cuphead Show book in storyboard form, which is available now.
Yeah. There's one now. Yeah, there's storyboards and things in there.
Yeah. Thank you. And if more episodes get made, I guess we will see
If that happens.
But yeah, there are many episodes that are animated. They're animatics. They're not fully animated, but they're animatics that the voices were recorded and they're ready to go. Should somebody decide to make more.
Bring it back. Bring it back. Bring it back. Bring it back. Bring it back.
Be sure to write address letters to Netflix.
Fun fact, that's how we're going to end this panel. So next question, but don't forget we're going to chant.
Okay, so in the game there is a bad ending where, spoilers, so Cuphead and Buckhead become servants of the devil. And to Drew and Frank, would you guys be down to do an episode where Cuphead and Buckhead basically become evil versions of themselves, the devil?
Yes.
It's funny you say that. That was actually one of our episodes that we weren't able to complete. It was a good one. That was probably my favorite one that didn't get made.
It's in the book.
Yeah, there's drawings in the book.
Yes.
Thank you very much.
I just want to say I'm a really big fan of Bugman. You're my favorite.
Oh, you're my favorite.
So speaking of other 1930s cartoons, my question is, do you think there's ever going to be a Bendy collab or crossover?
Like a Betty Boop?
Is that what you said? Bendy.
Bendy and the Ink Machine.
I mean, it would be awesome. Sure, but I mean, we need to renew this one first.
I guess my answer would be who and what is Bendy?
I have a question it's mainly for Joe, for Drew, and for Frank. Do you ever find yourselves, like, in your daily life, either speaking like your respective characters or saying any lines or phrases of your character?
Yes.
Yeah. Anytime I park my car somewhere and then I go back to my car and then I find that I have a parking ticket, I look at the parking ticket and I'm just like,
I ain't too worried about it.
And I have found that
Concern it
is part of my vocabulary.
And I think on a daily basis, since as far back as I can remember, I at some point say,
Wait, what?
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you. Brave night.
Hello. I've got a question for Dave. You are technically a voice actor in your own right, and I'd like to ask, what was your favorite line as henchman?
That is a great man. I've never thought about that. There were, see, no. That right there, boss, you can't do that.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Hello. I have a question about, will there ever be any more Cuphead media? Or like anything Cuphead?
MPHR owns the property, and I think they're working on stuff all the time. So in the video game space, I imagine yes. It's hard to say. None of us have control over the rights to the characters and stuff. So it would be like Nickelodeon, Netflix, Nickelodeon,
Strike two.
Anyone. Yeah, they would have to decide that they would want to make more, and then I think we'd all be game for it.
Yeah.
We thought we were gonna this was gonna be Netflix's SpongeBob. Like we were gonna be making these things for the next 20 years. So We have lots of stories to tell with these characters. They're pretty evergreen.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Can I supplement that a little bit? The one amazing thing about this production is that there's this lightning in a bottle team of just wonderful, kind people, and so many of us, if not all of us, have like stayed friends after this.
Name one person.
Every time I try to get emotional, you guys.
We play Dungeons and Dragons every Monday together.
And our DM Chad right over there. That's our DM Chad. That's our DM Chad.
He's got a privilege now. Wish us luck. But yeah, we would love to keep playing together. At least this end of the table is very excited.
And I'm over at Frank's a lot drinking his liquor.
Don't drink.
He's got good booze.
Don't say real.
Get it, booze?
Oh my God, I feel like I'm so nervous. So of course there were a lot of bosses that didn't get like an episode dedicated to them in the show. So if you had to choose one that like you think would be funny to make an episode on, like what would it be? Or like which one?
South Sputter. I'm sorry, that was.
No, it wasn't that.
No, I'm kidding. That was just. I got to play one of the heads bosses of the root pack, and that was just cheap of me just now.
We had a great one with Jimmy the Genie.
That's what I was saying.